Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Okay.
Yeah, I couldn't stand it. I don't even want to talk about this film.
You didn't like
Can you-
it.
I couldn't stand
You
it.
didn't like it.
The reviews
Understand
put me off because I was going to watch it, but I didn't go to watch it because I saw some quite scathing reviews and I said,
Really?
yeah.
I only saw praise for it.
Really?
I only saw praise for the film.
I loved it. Like,
Yeah,
by
right.
far, best film of the year, without a
Oh,
shadow, without
no.
a shadow of a doubt. Absolutely loved. I went to see it on holiday
This is-
wow.
this
for
is-
my
this is
birthday.
not
Oh,
gonna-
wow.
I want to see it that much.
This is not.
What's the premise of the movie?
This is.
It is. I'll let you explain.
This
Damien.
is. I mean, I don't even remember the premise of the film. I wanted to walk out. Look, the film is essentially about the relationship between a mother and a daughter.
Okay.
So like that's where the film goes, and essentially the family's having financial trouble with the business, and the daughter's kind of in adolescence. She's growing up. She wants to break out, and she's clashing with her mum about different things. And essentially it's about like it's filmed from the perspective of the mum about her kind of troubles with her marriage, kind of regretting things about her life with her business problems and so on. But it's Everything Everywhere All at Once is kind of done in this way, which takes away from the core message that I've just described, right? So I can only take like a certain amount of silliness in a film, right? I think there was some
hot dog fingers.
I think right, exactly. I really think there was some valuable messages going on here. I think it ended superbly.
Okay.
I think there's an emotional tone that the film finds about this connection between mother and daughter, and also about a person kind of looking back at their life and their choices. That's really good and really important. But to do it in this way just turned me off. I'm seeing hot dog fingers, people running around, people turning into glitter. So I can only take so much silliness in a film, and this took me beyond that. That was my issue.
See, I didn't think it was silliness. The premise of this film, and it's a sci-fi movie, right? But set in the heart of, it's a family drama set in the heart of a sci-fi movie.
Isn't this like a
And
multiverse? It's a multiverse.
Yeah, it's a multiverse story. I mean, far better than Doctor Strange, but I'm sure we'll come on to
Right.
that.
Well, yeah.
But I think what it allows us to really look at and closely is decisions people make in their life, the choices they make, but also the bond between parents. We look at her relationship with her father, also her relationship with her daughter, and how does she navigate this space of her own life as an individual, and a sense that there are things that she regrets. Did she marry the right man? Did she settle too early? What if she'd gone in different ways? And so she gets the opportunity to experience her life, multiple different opportunities, guises, ways it would have turned out. She gets to experience everything, everywhere, all at once. And that, I think, sets up a wonderful adventure. At the heart of it, though, is this family drama of how do you come to terms with decision we make as individuals, but how do we also find ways to connect to our children? Even though sometimes we feel they are so different to us. They are doing things that we do not agree with. We think we've given them everything in life, and they're throwing those chances away. And sometimes it's not about the big things. It's about just acknowledging that I see you as a person, and I still love you for it. And I think the film, from start to finish, is very, very funny, but I wouldn't describe it as silly. But also think at the very end is very, very touching in the way it comes back together. I also think it's a really interesting moment for, and I don't quite describe it as Asian cinema, but kind of, you've got this film, you've just got Turning Red, came out on Disney Plus, which also was really good. Looking at a very similar kind of link, kind of intergenerational relationship between Asian American sort of mothers and their daughters. And I think there's a really interesting movement here in cinema, hopefully, kind of in mainstream cinema, I suppose. But I think the film was brilliant. And I don't quite get what you... And my sense is what you're saying is you didn't like the silliness of it, but I suppose I would challenge you to consider whether that was silliness or whether it was more about just exploring different ideas and pushing us beyond the bounds of what we think is rational, right?
You can do all of that without hot dog fingers and, the people, the villain. It kind of sets up as a standard sci-fi film. And then... It's just too much. I couldn't even focus on it during the midsection.
From both of you that watched the movie, what do you reckon this movie's chances are at the Oscars?
Good.
Very good.
Very good.
It was a really popular film,
very, very
and
good.
people really, really liked it.
You don't think it's a bit too wacky for the Oscars because they can be quite conservative.
I think this is a perfect kind of film for the Oscars.
It will be nominated for Best Picture.
It also is a wonderful story, but also look, you got to look at the Oscars aren't just about films; they're about the stories you tell about how we make movies. and who makes movies, right? And I think the story behind this film is wonderful, not least how Michelle Yeoh became the lead character, how she is in a role that typically, for a woman of her age in Hollywood, you don't get big leading roles. You are the mother, you are the father, you are this, you know? And she actually, originally, this role was written from the perspective of, if I remember correctly, perspective of a man. And when she attached, they flipped the gender, flipped the script, and it came back a woman. I think it made a much stronger film, much more interesting film. So if I remember reading correctly, they originally went to cast Jackie Chan as the lead. The dad
it would have been a different film, yeah.
It
would have been, yeah.
And I think what she pulls out is both a stellar performance, but also it's just a lot of fun. So it's both touching, and I think some of my friends who are Asian who watched the film who were like, I've seen it multiple times, like cry every time. Actually seeing that kind of representation, and not just people say, oh, we just don't want another 12 years of slavery if you're black. People want to see people represented in different kind of ways. So actually seeing this amazingly wacky sci-fi film that's the family drama at the heart of it, I think is wonderful. I'd have to go and watch it again. If it
was Jackie Chan in the main role, I think I potentially may have enjoyed it more as a comedy. I would have been like, okay, this is Jackie Chan. There's mad stuff going on. This is a comedy, and then my head is now set. This is a comedy. I'm just supposed to find all of this funny. I think when you have such serious things to talk about and to do, like there are different ways to do it. But that was just for my taste. I think
this film is a comedy, right? It clearly is a comedy. It clearly is also a drama. It's clearly, maybe a dramedy set within a sci-fi genre. I don't think it's difficult for it to be more than one thing simultaneously. I mean, that is the film, right?
Right. So I think, and I think there was some good. Like, as I say, like the ending was really strong. And it made me wonder whether it was kind of worth sitting through all of that stuff just to get to this message at the end. But I was like, so if the ending, if the ending is good, does that mean that the film is good? That was what I was thinking during it. But I think I'll probably have to see it again at another point and then kind of consider it within that. And I'm sure it will do very well at the Oscars. I'm sure, definitely.
I think it's hard for bad films to finish strong.
Right. I mean,
it's very easy for good films to finish poorly.
Okay. Well, it's easy. Yeah. Right.